can't believe Macaulay Culkin dated Mila Kunis for so long.
Right?
Oh my god.
What the fuck? Have you heard Russell Brand tell that story?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. Russell Brand tells the story. He's like, I wish I could do his accent well. He's doing the that Forgetting Sarah Marshall movie with her in Hawaii, and like he is attracted to her, and then she's like, oh, my boyfriend's coming over, and then he sees it's Macaulay Culkin, and it's just like, like it's like she's fucking Macaulay Culkin,
like, rolling around on beds of Home Alone money, you know.
Dude, my favorite is
no sense.
I forget who he was. He was doing some movie. It might have been Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he fell in love with the female lead. And Russell Brand is like, I decided that it's not good for me to fall in love with this female lead. So I went to a psychologist and said, oh, you know, I'm in love. I can't do his accent. I'm in love with this female lead. Please
keep trying to do it.
Help me not to be in love with her. And you know, they go through it, and he's like, they're like, did it work? Did it work? And he's like, no, I took an alternative route.
No, you have to keep doing it in his voice.
I got into the relationship with her, and we dated for 3 months, and then I fell out of love. That works every time. And so yeah, that was pretty funny.
Russell Brand's an interesting guy. He gives good interviews because he's like, there's a few interesting things about him. So he had all the crazy heroin use and drug use, and now he's really spiritual, and he's into all this new world hippie stuff, and he's donating a lot of his money to all these causes and stuff. And you know, he was married to Katy Perry, and after their divorce, he could have taken like, I don't know, $100 million off of her or something, but he was like, no, that's her money. I don't want that. No, of course, don't give me her money. Just said no to it. And you know, he's an actor, and he's an interesting guy. He's a really funny comedian.
He is. I find him insincere, which is weird because he does a thing where he's totally sincere, right? But it's too fast for me. You know, like if Russell Brand was right here talking to you, he'd you know, get up on his chair and he'd lean forward and he'd be in the camera and he'd be so hyper engaged, like just looking at what you're saying and just like on top of it, and it seems almost fake to me. Like you're doing the Russell Brand thing right now, and I don't believe that's the real you. I bet if I saw you when you were eating potato chips in front of the television, that wouldn't be what you're like at all. You're just like doing this hyper thing, and I see. I could be wrong.
I'm not familiar with that from him.
Really? It's all I see. Watch for it now. Like it when he does interviews and stuff, he doesn't sit correctly in his chair. He gets hyper interested in what the host is saying and hardly follows with the topic sometimes because he just wants to know about you, darling. He just wants to know like what makes you tick, right? And
Stern interviews.
I don't like that thing that he does that also Milo did, where like they do that condescending like, oh darling, or like, oh, like using words like that to kind of make themselves look like they're being like almost concern trolling, where it's like, oh, you just don't get it, like, oh, you're a fool, like allow me to elucidate this situation for you. Like I don't like that, you know, kind of like what he did to you, Woody, when you were like, well, or Milo, I mean, when you were like, this doesn't really make sense. So you're gay and you're against gay marriage, but you're a really big Catholic. And he's like, oh, I can't believe you, Woody. Like, we're getting along so swimmingly. And yet you, lad, you know better than to ask that. And it was like, that's a sneaky little rhetorical device. And it seems like Russell Brand, at least in like the one CNN interview that I did see of him, he did the same thing. But to be fair, in that CNN interview, they really were disrespectful to him, the CNN anchors there. And he totally just took control of the situation and was like, all right, well, I'm the center of attention now, and we're going by my rules. And so I respect that about him, that he was confident enough.
It wasn't MSNBC by chance, was it? Was it CNN?
It could have been MSNBC. Maybe I'm incorrect. I know it was CNN or MSNBC.
Did he like get the woman to fall in love with him?
He really the woman kept like talking about Russell Brand to the other people on the panel, and Russell Brand kept being like, speak to me, I'm here. Don't say him. Don't say Russell. Say, refer to me and speak to me. I'm here. It's
like, that's quite
rude of you to do this. Yeah, and I was like, and that part was fucking hysterical because it was so funny to see. I don't remember how. I think it's a pretty long clip. But if you just type in Russell Brand CNN interview or MSNBC interview, and it's basically just him taking control of this situation, and none of them know how to deal with it because they're all so used to being able to say whatever nonsense they want and have everybody be like, oh yeah, huh, well, this is your show, so I guess I'm not gonna say anything. But he did not give a fuck.
The
His
shortest
Stern interview is
version I
pretty
can
good.
find is 8 minutes.
The whole time he's talking about giving his money away and stuff, and Stern's like, you want to hang on to some of that money now. Just hang on to some of that money now. Like you just constantly being the consummate Jew, just like, look, it's good to take care of this person and that person and this group and that group. You just hang on to some of that money, all right? Promise me you'll hang on to that money.